Hey guys, Tarke, and the Hearthstone QA panel has just ended. I'm going to round through all the interesting questions on my amazing little notebook and discuss where discussion is needed. So to begin with, they talked a little bit about how, they wanted Tavern Brawl to work. That was the main point of the whole thing, of how they came to designing Tavern Brawl and how it affected some of the design of the cards themselves going into the League of Explorers. And then we had this big Q&A. So the big thing that they had when it came to the design goals with Tavern Brawl is they wanted something which was accessible to new players, because obviously they haven't got any cards. That's why we get the weekly Classic pack, and that's why they stuck with Classic, or most likely stick with Classic for Tavern Brawl. It's a way for new players to catch up, both in their collection and also play with exciting and new cards they don't have access to. This is also why they're very adamant on sticking to a format where each week it's something different. One week will reward deck builders, the other week will be random, this week will reward small choices like picking a class. But they want to kind of always keep it accessible to some degree to everyone, but nearly always, not nearly always, but mostly catering to the fresher, newer players. So that's kind of that. Now, when we get into the Hearthstone QA, there was actually mostly really good questions. There was barely any kind of fluff, 10-minute, hi, I'm from this guild, whatever stuff. So, to start off with, golden cards coming to Arena is a thing. Apparently, Ben Brode nags the lead producer constantly for this to be in, and the producer kind of goes, no, it's not important, but Ben Brode goes, no, it's important. Apparently, it's just an issue of they need to get the priority on it, because I'm assuming it's some tech involved to get the Arena system to correctly respond to what cards you have in your collection. So, coming soon, trademark. Good news, Crip, you're getting your golden cards. Communication being added to co-op Tavern Brawl, with the last Tavern Brawl we had with going against Mechazod with the Priests and Paladins, and basically absolutely never-ending mind-numb brawl rubbish, which is you queue in, it goes badly, your opponent AFKs, they DC, 1 in 5 games are good games. I'm sure you've all had frustrating games. My first 6 games were Paladin only, and my Priest was AFK every game. Ooh. But apparently they're going to add in a new kind of system where you may be able to have direct communication from the get-go rather than having to lose, then add a player, then re-queue into it. I doubt we'll get full, clean chat integration because the trolling would be too hard. People would just be slagging each other off and being abusive. But there might be an option from the get-go to add someone to your friends list so you can then have direct communication that way. So, good things. Co-op will continue to be added to the game, and we might have increased co-op communication. So, can't complain. Sounds like a good thing indeed. Mysterious Challenger, everyone's complaining. Apparently they are happy with Mysterious Challenger. Theiss brought 3 decks to the World Series, which counted it very well, and he did very well with those. And so they're pretty happy with it, and they think the main reason people are complaining so much is that, yes, it is a very good deck, but most of the current decks in the meta are centered around countering Grim Patron, which obviously is no longer a thing, and that once people have some time to work on anti-Mysterious Challenger things, this won't be an issue. Now, do note, they've added a new Paladin secret in the League of Explorers, so yeah. Apparently it's not an issue, but it may be an issue because they're adding new secrets. Why, Blizz? Why you do this? Going ahead. Now, we will continue to get a new variety of quests. We are very unlikely to rework old quests. The main issue that the questionnaire had with the current quest system was quests like the Cast 40 spells, which promote players purposely making bad decks to lose with. So they just make a deck full of 1 mana cost spells, they cast loads of spells, then concede, rinse, repeat, and then get their gold. Apparently, Blizzard is happy with the current system. I kind of have to agree with them, and we'll keep getting variety in quests. Also, a big thing on this is they're not going to be releasing any new quests with the League of Explorers. Instead, what they're going to be doing is sticking to a content patch, then filler patches. So it's, from the way that Ben Brode said it, it's more than likely that we will be getting filler-esque patches coming in the next few months, which will introduce new quests and new UI features. Good news for that. Right, going ahead. Now, again, talking about tribes. Tribes were mentioned back-to-back, unfortunately, so it made the second question feel a bit weak. But a guy was really saying, you've added a bunch of new Murloc cards. Will you continue to add more Murloc cards? Ben Brode basically said, we will continue to add Murloc cards, we will continue to add mech cards, but we want peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, up and down. So like how we had the whole thing with Blackrock Mountain, we got some dragons, then we had to wait a bit, and then we got some more dragons in TGT. expect the tribes to sort of go through a cyclical process, and it's quite a good thing because it means they can dictate the meta quite strongly. If for whatever reason aggro no longer ceases to be a thing, I know that will never happen, but let's just pretend, they can then unleash a whole new wave of Murlocs, whole new wave of mechs. Then this starts beating the control decks, then later on if they want to add more control-y dragons, they can do that and they can shift it around. It's unlikely you'll get any new tribes anytime soon, but you never know. And just to recap, in the League of Explorers, we are getting 1 new mech card, 4 new Murloc cards, and we're getting a whole load of beasts. So good times. Also some Death Rattle. Now, a very interesting question, actually a very popular question in the crowd. It was a European, and this is relevant, so bear with me. And he was asking, right, fireside gatherings, they're great, but when you go to a convention such as BlizzCon, and he was a European, he couldn't actually take place in the fireside gathering because US region lock. And he was basically saying, is there any way that they could temporarily disable region locks for promotional events such as BlizzCon or Gamescom, basically a convention thing? The response was very positive from the producer and Ben Brode especially, and it's something that they would maybe consider working on, but they said themselves it would not be cheap. The fact he used the exact word, it wouldn't be cheap to implement, to me at least implies that we're not going to get it, and if we ever did get it, it's not going to be any time soon. So sad times for that, but at least they're thinking about it. In-game tournaments. This was another very popular question from the crowd. Basically, the guy was saying, will we ever get in-game tournaments? Maybe you have like to pay a gold entry, and then because everyone's paid a gold entry, then the winner can win a bunch of gold. They said, yes, this sounds interesting. This is something they talk about a lot, apparently. This is something they really want to happen, but they're not quite sure what the best way of doing it is. They don't know if there'll be issues where you play one game, then you need to wait around. Would that be fun? Would that not be fun? StarCraft 2 has added a in-game tournament mode, and apparently they're going to be talking directly to the StarCraft team to get some tips. So don't expect it soon, but maybe next BlizzCon they'll be announcing a tournament mode. So again, pretty exciting stuff. Now, going slightly further down the system, deck slots. We're getting deck slots. Apparently, maybe. Ben Brode said he was working on it. Also, when it comes to deck slots and UI, that was the question basically, we're apparently going to maybe get a feature where if you have quests with a specific hero, and let's say your quests were for Mage and Druid, and you stepped into the arena and the potential heroes were Mage, Druid, Warlock, both the Mage and the Druid would have a little exclamation point by their portrait indicating you have quests with that hero, while the Warlock would just be its normal clean portrait. Because the big issue you have, especially when you have stuff like win 2 games with either this or this or this or that, and then you step into the arena, and Ben Brode said how it frustrated him that he would go into arena, have to quick that, go back to his quest, check his quest, wait, what arena heroes are again? Go back. And he kind of wants to simplify that whole system. So that sounds like a very clean and elegant solution we might get sometime soon, potentially. Now, going down slightly more, again, it's unlikely that the collections tab, that is where you see your collection, your dust, your gold, that probably isn't being changed anytime soon, so don't expect that. But maybe new deck slots, maybe better quest features. Can't complain. Huge Toad is a reference to Hugh Todd, a former co-worker of Ben Brode's. It's weird, the questions people ask. Tavern Brawl will most likely continue to stay with Classic Pack rewards only. As I mentioned at the start of the video, it's mostly a feature for 1, fun, and 2, helping out the new players. So don't expect that to change. Also, the way that Arena has a chance of offering all the packs, they're currently very happy with this system because while the more experienced players, or the players who've bought loads of cards, don't like it because when a new set comes out, it takes them longer to get the new set cards. For the new player experience, this is the thing they're really worried about at the moment. It's more beneficial for a new player to have a chance of getting Classic or GVG or TGT or whatever the next big thing will be. So don't expect the arena model to change anytime soon. Going further down, new formats in ranked formula, maybe. Now what he means by that was, if you look at other card games, they usually have systems like fun modes, and he basically said, is there any chance we'd get like a monthly ranked challenge stone? Ben Brode responded to this question in a very crafty way, and considering that Ben Brode and Crip have a lot of good communications, I would not be surprised if we saw challenge mode coming to Hearthstone sometime soon. Once again, trademark, but pretty exciting stuff. Potentially a next level Tavern Brawl, who knows. Another format question from a different guy. It's funny how they group these up. He was asking, is it likely we'll ever get like pure format, as in, think of it like expansions, like this is a classic only ranked, or this is a GVG only ranked. Apparently this is again an issue that the Hearthstone team are well aware of, because they have this issue where they keep releasing new sets and do stuff like power creep, old sets never see play. Now, other card games have used systems where there's like the classic only, this is the GVG only. Apparently, and from what the vibe I was getting off the stage, they're not that big of a fan. It's something they're very actively working on, and apparently they're going to announce something very soon. Once again, trademark. So, I imagine what will most likely happen is about 2 to 3 months' time, post everything's calmed down, the League of Explorers, we're going to be getting some new UI changes and some announcements on potential new formats. Pretty cool. So, going down, old keywords, will they continue to get love? So, for example, looking at stuff like Inspire and Joust. Long and short answer basically is, if we like the keyword, we will continue to add cards. Pretty standard. Alternate artwork, will this be a thing? Basically, promotional stuff. Will there be promotional alternate artwork? Knife Juggler, for example. Ben Brode said he's very much against the idea of alternate artwork because it will be punishing to newer players, because there'll be some level of confusion. A card drops, you're like, what's that? You have to hover over it and go, oh, I already know that that's a Knife Juggler. What? This doesn't make any sense to me. Now, apparently this was something they were also very worried about when it came to the alternate hero skins, and it hasn't been an issue. So maybe we will see it, but it's much more like they'll stick to the current model of promotional card backs, as people are less likely to complain about a card back than a promotional card or promotional artwork being given out only. So, yeah, one final question. Will there be, or has there been, design issues when it comes to stuff like 2-drops and pre-existing cards? So if you look at the Parted Shredder, that's a 4-mana 4/3, there's fireworks outside my window, go away, you're annoying. Does this design influence of having the Parted Shredder ruin potential 2-drop designs? Apparently not. Apparently if they think a 2-drop is fun, they will just make the 2-drop and they don't really care about it. If it's a 1 in 30 chance, they'll just put it into the game. If it's a very likely 2-3 card combo, then it won't make it through. So long and short of it is RNG isn't going anywhere. Expect more RNG going forward. And apparently Piloted Shredder doesn't reduce design space. I'm Tarke Cat. I talked very quickly. You probably didn't catch any of this video, but I want to keep it short. It was a long QA. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe for more BlizzCon coverage. Bye-bye.